Hello friends, welcome again, and this month we are sharing about women's well-being, and under that today I'm going to talk about very important phase of women's life is perimenopause, menopause phase and postmenopause. Now I'm sure many of you might have already gone through that phase, some are about to, and you can start having some sleepless night that what I will do in this phase, because nowadays every woman start getting a little bit fearful, stress about this phase whenever they start getting any idea that I'm into perimenopause phase and this is happening because I'm in a perimenopause phase. But I would like to share with you that from Ayurvedic perspective, this is such an important phase in woman's life where she has almost completed many of her other responsibilities. She has children, she has enjoyed her job phase too and still working, but this is the time where she can start looking her own life more closely, more inside, where she can be a bit more aware about her own phase of life. But nowadays it is totally opposite. And why that is the case, why women always start looking from the age of 40, 45, different kind of supplement to fix their problem, whether it is irregularity of the period, whether it is sleepless night, whether around the age of 45, hot flashes start happening, skin start getting quite dry, hair start getting a bit thin. I hope when I'm talking about these few symptoms, you can relate these with yourself. And then the more concern that my blood pressure issue, I will be putting on weight, that issue start overpowering their thoughts. But Ayurveda tells us very clearly that this is not a phase which comes suddenly to any woman. It's a natural phase, natural process of a woman's life. And Ayurvedic perspective talk about that when women start from their Pitta age, which is, when I say Pitta means in Ayurveda we have three primary intelligence or energy or doshas, you can call them. They are responsible for all the functions what happen. Hence, Ayurvedic practitioners, Ayurvedic understanding is very much able to explain every symptom what happen in woman's life, that why it is happening and how it can be taken care with their effort rather than just bombarding themselves with the different kind of supplement. So when woman is in the phase of Pitta age is starting from 21 onwards to 50. And in that age, the phase more focuses on their periods part. That is where every month periods are happening. And then when we talk about the perimenopause phase, that will start from 45 onwards, 50, 51. Sometimes some women will have still a period around 52, which is now known as in Ayurveda Vata age. Now these three doshas or intelligence have their specific function. Kapha intelligence is known for anabolic. Anabolic is your endurance, energy, strength. And Pitta intelligence is for metabolic process and Vata intelligence is for catabolic process. So when the phase of catabolic process becomes dominant, naturally body will have a bit of a more wear and tear, and that wear and tear is not that in the age of that Vata. That wear and tear one has done more erratically in that age of Pitta. And if they have not lived that phase of their life in an effective way by following certain erratic lifestyle, incompatible diet, they will be having more problems anyway coming their way. But now this phase of when their periods start getting a bit more erratic because they ultimately has to cease. So what Ayurveda talk about, and this is what I explain to all, even our students, practitioners in the class, and that's where I'm sharing with you, what Ayurveda say that when a woman is having periods relate with the blood, and blood relate with the Pitta. Pitta is heat. So body of a woman naturally has a phase where they can expel that excess heat from their body. But now when that heat is trapping inside, when the periods are getting a bit up and down, delayed or missing, or ultimately they will see, this is what we call as menopause phase. So then that heat is trapped inside their body. And then we have 7 tissues. And that heat will then starting from the lower tissue, which is what we call as Maja Dhatu, nervous tissue, going upward and impacting various tissues and giving you various symptoms. When it is impacting at a nervous tissues level, that's where your problem is happening with the hot flushes, hormonal imbalance we call it. Then thinning of the hair, because if you will go more into Ayurveda, you can understand head hairs relate with the nervous tissue. So they start becoming thin due to heat and dryness. Then the sleep issue will come up, which again relate with the nervous tissue part. Now because in this phase of menopause, if a woman has not respected her Pitta age, her 2 glands known as pituitary and pineal gland, which are considered as our master gland, they get affected and their functioning start getting impaired, and all these problems they can start having. And then these 2 glands also oversees our one nerve, which is the most important, known as vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is responsible for various organs, various functions in everyone's body, and they start getting affected. Hence, your fat metabolism start happening, your bone tissues metabolic process start getting affected. That's where some women will start going through the osteoporosis issue. And if you have an Ayurvedic consultation in early part of your life, you can easily be advised by an Ayurvedic practitioner that when you are coming to your menopause or perimenopause, your bone tissue will go into the phase of osteoporosis. That can be deducted even at the age of 30 very clearly by a practitioner. So that's the way things work. And then some women will start getting affected with the high blood pressure or fluctuation in the blood pressure start happening. Skin start getting dry when the impact of the heat start happening to the rasa dhatu. Rasa dhatu is your lymph tissue part. And that's where you can see now every symptom what is happening with the woman start with a reason. And now if you start nourishing yourself from the age of 45 onward or like that, you will not suffer from these problems, because menopause is a natural phase of your life. But if we don't understand and think that, okay, I need to now use it because it is too late to bring that level of awareness, I was never being told by anyone, so what I can do? Then in that situation, I will explain you that no supplement can help you. Because when we talk about these evening primrose or this different kind of vitamins product, multivitamins or omega-3 or those kind of product are of no use, because they're not helping you to correct the imbalances which happen naturally in your bodily intelligence. But if you have to use supplement, in Ayurvedic concept there are specific herbs, but those herbs can never work on their own. They have to work together. This is what we call as synergy of the herbs. So one specific product is known as Fem Power. This product is precisely for women's different phases and also work very, very effectively for perimenopause, menopause phase, and even in the postmenopause. In that, one of the ingredient is which you might be very commonly nowadays heard, known as shatavari, which is asparagus racemose. This is the one part, but this herb is of no use if you are using single, because two factors. Single, it will not do the benefit to you what it can do. Then the dosages, if you are not using, if just having whatever the product from the shops you are picking and having a 200 milligram or 300 milligram, never going to work. It has to be minimum 2 gram in a one single dose. And this is what you, when you will pick up this product, you can see on the top 2.1 gram in a one single capsule. Then it works with the other product. Brahmi is one other product, because your nervous system issues are also affecting nervous tissue, also impacting your sleep and all that mood swings and hormonal part. Then it has other specific herbs are known as our aloe vera, which is kumari, which again is very specific for women's issue. Rubia cordifolia is regulating your periods part. So the point is, this product is a very specific for your woman's problem, and especially in this phase of menopause. Alongside, there is another Ayurvedic product, very, very effective, known as Rejuvatone. Rejuvatone is precisely for nervous tissue and stabilizing the vagus nerve and those two glands. So if you start at the age of say 40, these two products, and you can enjoy, and I can assure you not going to have even one simple symptoms what you heard from your group of friends for the menopause phase. So that's the way I can tell you. And if you are able to get a consultation with an Ayurvedic practitioner who practice Ayurveda on a traditional level, not just in a new age Ayurveda, they will be able to give you a complete lifestyle advice, certain food which you should be avoiding in this phase, that is specifically all your greens in the raw form. Cooked greens, wonderful. Then if you can avoid all fermented food which is increasing pitta, that will be very helpful, like peanut butter, your kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut, that kind of things, or your tomato sauce. And then try to avoid all tin food or frozen food, because they lack prana. Prana is your life force, and this is the phase where you need more and more life force. So that's the way few things can be talked about. Then helping if you have certain emotional issue, because a lot of time lot of suppressed emotion will naturally start coming up, because that is the role of the Vata intelligence. No matter how strong you are, anything which I have suppressed in my whole life will be start surfacing. That's where your various kind of emotion, if you are going through lot of resentment, lot of anger, hatred, jealous, anxieties, worries, some lies happening by me in my life, they all will surface and they will hit me. That is what we call as some of us call it as a mid-age crisis, but it is not a mid-age crisis. It's a very specific reason behind that, what Ayurveda can explain why at the age of 50, 51, 55, all these things are coming up suddenly. They are not coming suddenly, they are deep-seated. They will naturally, this is a natural process of now coming out. So if you can understand how Ayurveda can help you, Ayurveda can support you, you will enjoy this phase rather than having a sleepless night. So listen to that. If it makes sense, try to follow and you can enjoy your life, and then family will be happy and everyone around you will be happy. So not to worry about that. Thank you.